Hey, what's up YouTube? So this video is going to cover my race prep for the first race of the upcoming Ocup season. It'll be my first season, but that's another story. I've never raced before. 44 years of age this year. I'll be 45 later this year. And anyway, let's get on with the video. So I've decided to put on some new tires. The tires that I ran last season are showing a lot of wear. Can't really tell right here on the tread. It looks pretty good there, but in some edges and cases, like some of the edges are lifting, and in some cases or in some aspects, some parts of the tire, there's a bit of it's not the actual rubber that hits the road, but it's the sidewall, and there's little chunks of it all around the tire that are coming off. And let's face it, they're time trial tires, so I really shouldn't be running them year round. They've been brilliant, they've been really good, but there's the Corsa Speed 2.0, and I love them. They're fragile, but they've been working really well for me. My brother also uses them. He lives in a different country in a different climate, but has had just as really good luck with them. But I'm going back to something I tried in 2018, and that is the Continental Gp 5000. And I decided to not get the newer 5000 STR, instead opting for the original GP 5000 non-tubeless. I'm not going to be running tubeless, and I have an opinion on that, which I'll share with you later. And these happen to be 23 mil. Now you're probably surprised to hear that these days someone running 23s also gonna run latex tubes because they're better. But my choice for 23s was really there's only one reason, that's aerodynamics, and I'll explain with a few images and reasons with the help of my computer, which I'll do right now. So in terms of aerodynamics, why I decided to go with a 23 is because of this Rule 105. The Rule of 105 states that the rim must be at least 105% the width of the tire if you have any chance of recapturing airflow from the tire and controlling it or smoothing it. The wheels that I have, the Reynolds Aero 65s, had a lot of research and development put into their rim shape. And I find that they are just as fast as something else that I've tried, NV67s, NV78s, and the previous wheels I had on this track, Madone, which were the Bontrager XXX6 wheels. Now, in terms of speed, I'm not saying that they're all identical, but not enough of a difference for me to know or to feel. Equally as quick is what I mean. They all felt just really fast. Anything north of 38 kilometers an hour on a flat was easy to hold, but the difference is that these Reynolds are not affected by crosswinds, almost non-existent. Now, my wheels are at their widest 29.5 mil, but right where the tire and the rim meet, they are closer to, they're about 27.1, 27.15, and any 25 mil on this rim, because of the inner width of the rim bed, or the tire bed, I guess, they blow up. Depending on the tire, depending on the make and the model, they might be a 25 point something or wider. In the case of the Vittoria Corsa Speed, which you'll see on the screen now, they were supposed to be 25s, but they're 25.9, which isn't bad. But I don't want to run these tires for the rest of the season, just because I don't feel that they have the ultimate grip. But also they are fragile, and I'm hoping to have something a bit more durable. The GP 5000 that I bought in a 23, it inflates to 24.2. Now, I had a pair of GP 5000s when they first came out, and at the time I had the 25 mil. And after riding them for about 4 weeks or so, I noticed that they had expanded by 0.5 millimeter. If I remember correctly, I don't have images or any data. I didn't record that, but I do remember them being wider, and it was about a 0.5 mil. Now, the Rule 105 states that the rim must be at least 105%. So I'm okay with my tires being 24.2, which if you take a look at the graph there, it's in between the 23 and 25, which then states that rim would have to be about 25.2. Let's call it 25.2 millimeters wide for a tire that's 24.2 or 25.3 anyway. And at the brake track, my wheels are 27.15. Now, if the GP 5025 inflates to about 26, if I remember correctly, it was about 26.5, my brake track would have to be wider than 27.15, so about almost 28, I think, and I don't have that. So I'm limited by a static number, something I cannot change unless I change wheels, which I'm not about to do. So I can control this and sort of match, not match, but meet the requirements of the rule of 105 by downsizing the tire. There are other aspects to consider. I am most times about 67 to 68 kilos these days, but usually in season I'm closer to 66, and that's not a lot of weight. So 23s at 100 psi would feel okay. Then there's also the rolling resistance for these tires. So let's say I do run them at 100 psi. Well, bicyclerollingresistance.com shows us that with latex tubes, which I am using at 100 psi, the rolling resistance between a 23 and a 25 is identical. Now this is on a drum that they have, and it's pretty smooth, not real world. I would have to go up to 25 and drop the air pressure to 80 in order to benefit from an advantage of 0.2 watts. Not worth it in my opinion, considering what I'm giving up in terms of aerodynamics. To further emphasize the aerodynamics benefit or gain, I am showing you an AeroCoach graph where they did a test of the aerodynamics of racing tires. And here's the Vittoria Corsa speed, here's a GP 5000, and you can see that the aerodynamic drag contribution on a Corsa speed is 320.1, which is the wattage required to hold 45 kilometers per hour, and 318.7 for the GP 5000. Now, these are not watts that I can do very easily for very long. I will take it with a grain of salt, but it's nice to see that the GP 5000 is a more aerodynamic tire than the Vittoria Corsa Speed. Even more interesting is this here, the Schwalbe Pro 1 TT. So that more or less sums up why I made the decision to go with the 23. They are more aerodynamic, or they help me achieve a better result in terms of the rule of 105 and in terms of rolling resistance between a 23 and a 25. There isn't any difference at 100 psi. So in summary, a light-ish rider, a tire that's a lot narrower than the rim it's mounted to, and pretty aerodynamic in terms of the top choices that one would have for racing. And these are not the tubeless tires that have difficulty mounting or need to be in an oven before you can put them on. And I did say I was gonna touch on what my opinion is regarding road tubeless, and I'm a fan only if the tire is a 28 millimeter wide tire or larger. for 23s and 25s, I feel clinchers are a better bet, a safer bet, and it has to do with being able to reseat them once you've broken the bead after the first time. It's just in my experience between the S-Works Rapid Airs, Schwalbe Pro ones, not the current generation, but the previous generation, and Hutchinson's. I've used two different kinds, IRCs, the road lights, the RBCCs, and the Vittoria Corsa speed in a 25 and in the 23. I've tried all of these options tubeless over the years, different rims, and the results were always the same. 23s and 25s had difficulty remounting after the initial seat. So you get a flat, you throw in a tube, you come home, you fix that, you patch maybe the hole, or you plug it, whatever the case is. But trying to get it to reseat and actually hold air tends to be difficult. But a 28 seemed to work always, every time, consistently, and it was easier to reinflate on the side of the road. That's it. And that's all I have. If you like this video, please give it a like. And if you like the content, feel free to subscribe. I appreciate it.